Jim Walsh here for our weekly Chairman's Update. There's been so much going on for the party and for Washington and politics and law. I'm just going to focus on two issues this week. There are many more bubbling and brewing. We've talked about some of the tax issues, some of the parents' rights things going on, but I'm going to focus on two other issues this week. They're timely. You'll recognize them, but I could talk about 100 things. I'm just going to pick two for now. Certainly, the biggest story that's been in the news and is a matter of great concern for people about law and public policy and government here in Washington State right now are these anti-ICE protests, riots, some call it insurrection, going on here on the West Coast. The harshest of these riots have been taking place down in California, but here in Washington State, we've had some too, primarily in Seattle. No surprise there. A lot of the old familiar faces and players from the Chaz Chop era have come back into this issue and are causing trouble, but also in Spokane, so it's not just Seattle. Just in the last few days, there were violent riots in Spokane. The mayor there, who is no conservative by any stretch, had to install a curfew in Spokane. The feckless mayor of Seattle has not done that in Seattle. He probably should. So these riots are a matter of great concern. They are nominally against ICE, that's the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, a federal agency, of course, under the Department of Homeland Security. ICE, of course, is charged with enforcing immigration law in our country. And for several years during the Biden administration, they did not enforce immigration law. Under the new second Trump administration, ICE is back in the business of enforcing immigration law. That means detaining, arresting certain illegal aliens in the United States, usually illegal aliens who've committed other additional crimes, and deporting them. And there are people on the radical left of the political spectrum who don't want that. They want open borders, and they want illegal alien criminals to be in the communities here in Washington and around the country. It is to be charitable, some people call this suicidal empathy. To show that they are empathetic toward illegal aliens, they will actually ruin their own communities, make their own streets less safe. Some of it is suicidal empathy. Some of it, frankly, is a political agenda of self-interest, money that flows to illegal alien communities. They take a piece of it with nonprofit organizations, NGOs, and other groups. And a number of far-left national political organizations, including a very radical, extreme group called Indivisible, very far-left Marxist group, as well as certain left-wing organizations affiliated with the currency speculator George Soros, you probably know of this name, are involved in encouraging the riots and the violence, particularly in big cities. So all of that is the background for this latest round of riots and insurrections. And the Soros group and the Indivisible's radical group are ginning up more. They are promoting on June 14th what they call a No Kings protest day here in Washington, all around Washington, and nationwide. And this is really kind of like striking a match in a dry forest. It's very likely to start violence in certain places. And as a result, local law enforcement is kind of on alert. And more importantly, the federal government is on alert. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, has what they call a special response team, a group of kind of SWAT-like specially trained agents who can who can counter some violent protests if they're directed at federal offices, federal buildings, federal facilities, which some of the violence in Seattle and in California has been directed at. Uh, and of course, there's the matter of the president activating and deploying National Guard units to help put down the violence and keep civil order. The president is entirely in his right to deploy National Guard units. He is entirely legal to do that. There are some crackpots on the far left who say that the president does not have the authority to activate and deploy the National Guard. That is false. They have a few loud voices saying it, unfortunately, including our own governor, who has said that the president deploying the National Guard is illegal. That is not true. And the president has indicated he will do what it takes to put down violent riots and insurrections in our big cities and anywhere, and deploy the National Guard units if necessary. This is the good defense of civil order. The violence of these people protesting the enforcement of immigration law is really nonsensical. And you've probably seen the videos of these violent rioters after they try to beat up cops, waving Mexican flags, but their faces are covered. There's no indication they're even Mexican nationals. They may just be left-wing troublemakers pretending to be Mexican nationals. We're not sure who they are. But we know that this Indivisibles group and the Soros-backed organizations are involved, and they are in the business of making mayhem. We, the Washington State Republican Party, we're in the business of protecting civil order, preventing violence and crime, and making our neighborhoods and our cities safer to walk around in, to be in, to go to dinner in, to go to lunch in, to bring your kids in. We want to make communities safer and our cities safer, not more violent. The other issue I want to talk about is our initiative, recently filed, to require proof of citizenship when people register to vote in Washington. Right now, in our state, there is no effective mechanism in our voter registration process for confirming that people who are registered to vote here in Washington are actually citizens. There is a nominal check the box kind of thing, but there's no actual due diligence. Nobody confirms that a person who's registered to vote is a citizen of the United States, and that is a big problem. Because in an all mail-in ballot state, an all mail-in voting state, which is what Washington is, we mail ballots out to everybody who's a registered voter. And those ballots are like gold. They're very valuable, and we are sort of loosely mailing them out places to people who may not be there or people who are not legal to vote in Washington or the United States. We have to take better care of our voter databases, those lists of registered voters, the voter rolls, you'll hear them referred to. We need to protect those voter rolls to make sure they're clean and current, and that everyone on the voter roll is a legal voter in Washington and in the United States. So this initiative IL 26-126, strengthens the process of proof of citizenship when people register to vote. It's a good reform. It will raise people's confidence and trust in our elections here in Washington, and I believe increase voter turnout. You'll hear attacks and criticisms of the initiative saying that it ends vote by mail. That's false. All it does is require proof of citizenship when you register to vote. It doesn't touch vote by mail. It doesn't do anything about same-day ballots being counted or anything like that. It focuses on one issue: proof of citizenship. And that's as initiatives must do. In our state, initiatives have to focus on a single subject, a single point in the law. And IL 26-126 does that. One thing: require proof of citizenship when you register to vote. Now, on a more strategic level, we are going to continue to file and support good initiatives that make good reform in our state law and our state public policy here in Washington. Lately, the legislature and sometimes courts will attack our good initiatives. The legislature, the radical leftists in the state legislature, recently passed a bill that guts the Washington State Parents' Bill of Rights. But we will support restoring the Washington State Parents' Bill of Rights. In that case, on that project, we'll work with our friends at the organization Let's Go Washington, and we will jointly support that effort. And we will work with other organizations to support good initiatives that reform or fix broken public policy in Washington State. The initiative process is inherently democratic. And it's so ironic to hear these people attacking the WGOP or the initiative process saying that they're trying to defend democracy. The initiatives are a democratic institution. They're a good part of our Republican form of government that is democratic in nature. The people speak with initiatives. That's a good thing. It's a bit ironic to hear progressive leftists claim to be defending democracy but attacking initiatives. It's silly. We will continue to support good initiatives, and even if the legislator guts them, even if the courts throw them out, we will continue to file them. We'll push back and push back and push back. As I've said before, it's like mowing your grass. You have to always keep mowing to keep your yard neat and looking good. In order to keep our state on the right track, we will continue to file initiatives and we will continue to push back. Remember, some of our good initiatives have stuck and stay in law. Our restoration of police pursuits that we did about a year ago, that's stayed in law. They haven't challenged that. They can't. It's good law. And our initiative that made state income tax prohibited, which people had thought was law but wasn't, that one is still on the books. That's stuck. And it's worth noting, when the leftists tried to get the Parents' Bill of Rights thrown out by the court actually ruled that the Parents' Bill of Rights was good law. Didn't throw it out, kept it on the books. It took the legislator and the left-wing people there to disable that, hurt that Parents' Bill of Rights, but we'll support the initiative to restore it completely. This is a good fight. This is the fight to fix what's broken in our beautiful state. And the WGOP is going to be right there. We're not going anywhere. We will fight, fight, fight to fix what's broken in our state. That's it for this week. A lot going on. I'll have more to report next week. But keep your heads on a swivel. Stay sharp. Stay focused and alert. And until next week, stay strong and be well.